putting something on the horse that if it does get loose, that people will be able to see it. And I think that's something that's missing out of the manual that they have here. But again, it's all recommended. It's not required. And like Dad said, there should be a requirement for after a certain time that something on the horse, on the buggy that could be seen.
So is this latest accident kind of the final straw for you, where you're gonna actually start going to legislators and trying to get involved in what you can actually do?
How much is enough? This is 4 times in 2 years. I see and hear of this is 4 times just for me personally. Not to mention all the accidents that happen, whether they're in the newspaper or not. You hear about them in the community. People getting hit by a horse and buggy, or a horse running loose and had a close call. Since this accident, I've had every day I hear 2 or 3 different stories of close calls or accidents or what have you that could have been avoided if some of these things would be in place. So yes, this is the final straw. I'm tired of it. I don't want anybody to have to go through what our family's going through if it could be avoided. Mm-hmm. And I think this could have been avoided if something would have been on the horse. Mm-hmm. If it was running down the road and Brian's headlights were shining and saw the reflection on the horse or whatever, he could have swerved, he could have slowed down, could have done something, but there wasn't anything, therefore we're in the situation we're in. Mm-hmm. So I'd hate for the next family to have to go through the same thing that we're going through.
Why do you think nothing's been done here? Because you did mention all those other states that had some kind of action.
I'm not saying that they had action. I'm saying that it's an issue in their states as well. Okay. I'm saying that there's articles out there that are doing the same thing that we're doing here, that there's been an accident, there's been a catastrophe where someone has been hurt or has died, and therefore somebody has taken that incident and tried to make it better for the next person, which is what we're trying to do. And hopefully with this incident something good could come out of it for the next person or for the next family. And if that means that we have to push the buttons of the legislators to get action because of this, then that's what we're looking to do.
It's like a red light. How many people have to get killed in an intersection before they put in a red light? Somebody finally, gets enough gumption to get in there and call their legislators and get something done. Well, it's the same way with us and horses. It's time something was done.
Where do you guys live?
We live in Providence Township.
Okay.
Our mailing we live in the country. Our mailing address is Willow Street, but we don't live in the town. Mm-hmm. And we have Amish neighbors. We've worked with Amish. We've done work for Amish. Dad's done work for Amish. I've worked with them. It's not that I have anything against the Amish and their beliefs. It's, and I know how Amish, they're just like any other human being. They're going to do anything that they can as cheap as they can to get by. Well, being that Dad owned his own auto repair shop, and he did safety inspections on cars and emissions inspections, there's a whole list of safety inspections that a car has to go through. An Amish buggy does not have to go through that. They don't have to be registered. They don't have to go through the same things that we have to go through, even though they're on the same roads that we're using, and they're creating safety hazards. We're looking for the state of Pennsylvania to come up with something that's going to be more safe for them and us while we're driving. Mm-hmm.
What do you just say to some critics who say most of these accidents are caused by drivers who aren't paying attention or who are going around the horses? Maybe they're not following the rules of the road or etiquette, I guess you could say,
You're saying the car drivers?
Yes.
I'm sure that can happen, but that didn't happen in this case. In this case, they were driving the speed limit in their own lane with their seat belts on the kids in the seats that they're required to be in, doing everything they were supposed to be doing within the regulations and laws of the state of Pennsylvania, and this was unavoidable based on the conditions are today. There's a black horse running down a dark road, and it was unavoidable because you just couldn't see it. So, I'm sure there are instances out there that, for one reason or another, people did something wrong going around a horse and buggy or weren't paying attention or texting or whatever, and it caused an accident, but not in this case. Do you want to say anything to that?
On our trip home that night, we passed 3 Amish horse and buggies between Octorara and Quarryville at 3:30 in the morning. What are they doing out at that time of night? If they are as religious as they say they are, if they try to abide rules with their kids and stuff, what are they doing out that time of night? It just doesn't make sense to me.
Is there anyone that you've contacted other than Brian Cutler at this point that you've reached out to?
I've made the state trooper at the police barracks. I have to get her name for you. Stephanie Straska. Talked to her yesterday. She has given me some good information. She gave me a contact of Kay Boyer, I think her name is. Kay Boyer is the nurse that goes around to, I don't know if you've heard, there's a nurse that goes around to Amish schools, teaches farm safety, teaches, I think, this manual. I think she was part of this manual. And I can give you her information. I haven't talked to her personally yet. Talked to Caitlin Smith with WGAL. I'm hoping to do a TV article with her. So other than that, no, that was it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how far are you willing to put yourself out there to do this, and why don't you think other people have done this? Because I think everyone who's lived in this area has some kind of story.
It takes a lot of time and effort to get something changed, and I'm willing to take it as far as I want the state of Pennsylvania to say no to me and say no either to me or the situation in some capacity, or make the change. So I'll push it to that point. If they come back and say, no, we're not going to change anything, then I've hit a dead end. If they say, yes, we're willing to consider it, yes, we're willing to come up with something, then I'll keep pushing until that something is done. But I want, it's one thing to go to the press, and then there's another thing to go try and get something done with it. Being that I've talked to Brian Cutler, he's willing to work with us on, be an ally on our side and to help either guide us or be a part of the fight. That's a start. And if we need to go to the next level, whatever that next level is, then we'll go there and we'll talk to whoever we need to talk to.
And you said you also want to do this for the Amish too.
I mean, look at the horses they lose. Look at the buggies they lose. You can't tell me they don't want to do something about this or try and do something.
And the fact is just to keep all people safe, because they're getting hurt as well.
They're people too. I mean, whether it's the horse or the Amish people, I mean, they're people too. I mean, they're not going to put themselves out there in front of a TV camera or talk to a reporter or have a picture taken, but they're hurting when somebody gets hurt. I mean, they have feelings. So if this can save the life of an Amish person or an English person, it has to be. I mean, we feel that what we're looking to do to have changed or implemented into law is going to be the safety for not only them but us. So it's good for everybody.